Kompong Phluk is one of 8 communes in the Protential Kampong district in Siem Reap province. It is located approximately 32 km west from the city. It can be reached by taking the number 6 National Road 16 km and then turning right to follow the Raloose River for another 16 km more. Kompong Phluk is situated on the shores of the Tonle Sap Great Lake, or one of the largest freshwater floodplains in the world. The commune is home to 700 families, with a total population of 3,457, with 52% of the population being female. The main occupation of the villagers is fishing, which is a key resource for the local people, who have learnt to adapt their way of life to correspond with the annual flood cycle. The local vegetation is uniquely adapted to this annual flood cycle, whereby they spend 4 to 5 months submerged beneath the water each year. In the period of 1980 to 1990, Kompong Phluk was a remote village that suffered from a lack of communication due to poor infrastructure connecting it to the rest of the province. Based on this poor situation, Kompong Phluk was not a desirable place to live or to move to. However, in reality, Kompong Phluk was home to a great number of valuable natural resources that make it a great natural asset to the world. Fortunately, from 1999, the community began to receive various amounts of support through technical and financial resources, which helped to improve infrastructure and thus made it easier for tourists to access. From 1999 to 2004, the community was supported by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. From 2005 to 2007, it was supported by Danida DeFit. From 2008 to 2010, it received support from the Asian Development Bank. These development partners have all helped to create easier access to this remote village. The community has worked in close collaboration with these organizations to connect the village of Kompong Phluk to the centre of the district and province. In particular, the canal was rehabilitated by 1,930 metres in order to make it easier for the fishermen and tourists to travel in the wet season. At the present time, Hirado and UNDP are continuing to support the community by helping to generate more ecotourism. This is being achieved through implementing support for the flooded forest and fish refuge management. The community is strongly dedicated to protecting and conserving the flooded forest, the fish refuge and the extensive biodiversity in the area. The Kampong Phluk community has now restarted to show its famous natural beauty and its new smiling face through protecting, conserving and using its natural resources in a sustainable manner. Through community initiative and close consultation with relevant development partners, Community Fishery was formed in 1999, which aimed at protecting, conserving and using fishery resources in an effective and transparent manner. In 2001, Community Fishery was legally recognised by the government and established as a community-based organisation. Based on the high potential of ecotourism and its substantial growth, the ecotourism of Kompong Phluk community redeveloped itself in 2006. Today, the Kompong Phluk Ecotourism Group preserves its famous beauty of the flooded forest through responsible use and conservation of the natural resources. This has resulted in the forest growing by a further 1,000 hectares. The diverse wildlife and aquatic flora and fauna attract tourists to this unique area of Cambodia. In order to protect the houses from the yearly flooding, houses were built high on stilts so that during the wet season when the forest floods and water level rise, the houses are safely protected. This is unique to the village of Kompong Phluk and draws in both international and national tourists to see the way of life of these communities. The comparison of the village from the wet to the dry season is what interests many visitors, in particular the extraordinary difference of the pagodas, which look as if they are floating on small islands during the wet season and emerging from a mountain in the dry season. The community of Kompong Phluk works very hard to protect the 5,840 hectares of flooded forest. the 18 hectares of fish refuge and 12 hectares of bird refuge, to continue to encourage ecotourism in the area. By working alongside local authorities at all levels, development sectors have grown very fast. This has resulted in the establishment of primary and secondary school buildings, new pagodas, health centres and a police station and restaurant. The community aims at improving the services of its schools, pagodas and restaurants. The community strives to teach tourists about the history of the village and the unique way of life led by the villagers. Some visitors choose to stay with the community for 2 to 3 days in order to study and research the culture, customs and way of life of the community. Meanwhile, the community provides good homestay experiences, which include food, accommodation and a shared toilet, as well as an accompanied visit to the respected ancestry area. National visitors include monks, nuns, students, and the general public who are interested in seeing another side of their country and its people. International visitors arrive by all modes of transport, leaving their vehicles at Kompong Phluk village in Mean Che Che commune, where they then board a motorised boat which transports them down the river. Kompong Phluk has the capacity to receive more than 1,000 visitors per day. Currently, the community is working to optimise the benefits of the tourist industry to help the economy to continue to grow. Around 500 to 700 tourists visit the area each day, but only 100 to 200 of these pay to experience the boat tour through the forest. The boats can accommodate 2 to 3 people at a time and are rowed by women only. The cost of the trip is $5. This supports the women of the commune as it allows them to support their families and bring in extra income. The men of the village work in fishing or in construction close by to the villages. However, the income that is brought in by these women is still low, and more support is needed in order to help these women become economically independent. Support is still required from NGOs, INGOs and government branches to support and strengthen their enterprise and to improve the services they can offer to tourists. In particular, the community wishes to strengthen the food and beverage services as well as the security they can offer to tourists. The community works hard to prepare for the future and believe that learning by doing is the most productive way to safeguard their future. The local authorities in the Kompong Phluk community are thankful to the NGO and INGO, international organisations, charity partners and government institutions who help the community to develop, especially UNDP, who support the current project including the flooded forest and the fish refuge conservation. They continue to be thankful for the support of ecotourism in the community and for facilitating this video. Mr. Sankong, the chief of Kompong Phluk community-based ecotourism, tells us that his community has 12 management members, which include 3 women, and 700 boat rowers from 700 households, all of which receive benefits from the boat services offered to tourists who wish to see the flooded forest. Mrs. Sankong, head of Kompong Phluk Community-Based Ecotourism, and Mr. Ning Nai, chief of the commune, told us that in early 2014, the community project plans to construct a 2,800 metre access path through the forest to reach the fish conserve. It is hoped this will attract more interest from tourists who come to the area. Furthermore, plans to construct a new floating amenities block with a nice restaurant, ecotourism office and ticket office measuring 7 by 18 square metres, which will be powered by solar electricity and have bathroom facilities, is currently underway. All community members would like to conserve and protect all achievements supported by local and international NGOs. They will try their best to supervise the shared interest with transparency and equity in order to sustain ecotourism in the continuing future.